Well, Winston Peters is firing up at the Broadcasting Standards Authority. The New Zealand First Leader is accusing it of trying to police the entire internet after it said it had jurisdiction over Sean Plunket's online show, The Platform. He says the regulator has gone too far, calling its latest move total fascist behaviour and insisting it should be scrapped altogether. And Media Minister Paul Goldsmith says that is something that the government is actively considering. Here is senior reporter Juliet Speedy with the story.
Sean Plunket is not known for holding back on his show.
I would think the story I'm about to share with you was an April Fool's joke. It is certainly Orwellian and dystopian.
He's talking about a landmark decision that brings the platform under the BSA's jurisdiction. It is the first time the regulator has applied its powers to an online-only broadcaster. The ruling followed a complaint after Plunket described tikanga Māori as mumbo-jumbo.
It's a decision that is wrong in law, wrong in process, and goes against the New Zealand Bill of Rights. It's a threat to free speech.
Winston Peters, a regular on the show, escalated the attack. He says the BSA has stepped into territory it was never designed for, posting online. The decision of the Broadcasting Standards Authority that it has jurisdiction over the platform is breathtaking in its audacity. It has single-handedly decided it knows better than the regulatory framework it operates under, and that it should regulate the entire internet in New Zealand. That is an egregious case of overreach and total fascist behaviour. The BSA has crossed a line. Peters doubled down on Plunket's show.
Bordering on fascist behaviour. Frankly, they should go. They should be abolished.
ACT agrees.
Look, it's a creature of 1989, before the internet existed. We live in a different world today, and it's clearly overstepping its mandate.
Media Minister Paul Goldsmith says the government is weighing its options.
We could leave it as it is to let the courts decide work its way through the system, or we could change the legislation, or we could abolish the BSA, and that's something that the government could consider.
The Prime Minister denies giving Plunket personal assurances.
Sean Plunket said that you personally gave him a guarantee that you'd have his back on this one.
Oh, look, we have not interfered in this process at all.
The BSA has responded, telling us, for over 20 years we've called for Parliament to update the Broadcasting Act. Until that happens, we must apply the law as it is. The BSA must consider a complaint if it meets the Act's definition of a broadcast. This is the first we've had about an online broadcaster that meets that definition. This decision confirms online broadcasters that host regularly scheduled programming for audiences to tune into, and the way we've always consumed TV and radio, are broadcasters and subject to standards. We've made no ruling yet on whether the platform's content has breached standards. Plunket calls his show a digital media site and calls himself a journalist, but says he's not subject to broadcasting standards because, in his words, he's not a broadcaster, he's a webcaster.
I'm concerned for other people who choose to communicate through the internet, that one day the BSA will decide they don't like them and subject them to the kangaroo court they're trying to subject me to.
The BSA was set up to enforce standards of journalism to protect the public. With misinformation and AI creations everywhere, some would argue we need the BSA more than ever. Others, including some politicians, say its time is done.